Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody had a wonderful day yesterday, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. So, yesterday we worked on a mob farm over that way, and it has produced a little bit of stuff. It's not yet really in full swing, but it's enough to get us started. Got some stuff in it, but one of the comments that came about yesterday as I was lamenting the constant back and forth of having to run all the way over there and back was needing some sort of road system or pathway. And it got me to thinking, that's probably not a bad idea. And so, one of the things that I want to work on today, as titled by the stream, is coming up with a road to get over there. And these damn chickens. But what I want to do is put a road in place. Oh, hey, I didn't realize that I had bees over here now. Awesome. Put roads leading out of the valley and over here at the very least. Potentially even a bridge to come across this river, and then a road that leads to the village, I believe, will probably wind up being one of the better ideas. Yeah, there's a lot of distance in here that needs to be covered, and the constant hopping up and down and trying to run around all over the place just doesn't really do it very well. Especially when you have the option to, auto jump turned off, which sometimes I'm like, it probably isn't a bad idea to have it on sometimes. But then there are other situations where with auto jump on, you do something accidentally stupid. So it's best not to do that. But yeah, so far, not huge amount of drops. And it looks like if I stand right here is when the mob spawner or the mob spawns tend to be the best. Don't know why. Still learning that. But I do have another problem. And that is this will spawn witches. And I think that's because of the height up here. I need to make it one block lower. But if a witch falls, she doesn't die. Now, one of the ways that I can get around that, and I'll probably do that later on, is to actually probably put in a couple of encased fans in here, as well as a couple of saws on the other side. And so that way the fans will push the witch into the saws will then kill the witch, and everybody will be happy. So that's one of the ways that I can do that. But that was actually a fun project to work on yesterday, and I like the looks of it, although I'm still going to go through and decorate it some more. But for now, I want to work on the road leading out here. And I was thinking about bringing it out this way. And maybe going 3 wide? 2 or 3 wide. Hello, flowers. Let's clear up some of this. Oh, whoops. No. I dug up the dirt I didn't want to. I did, however, get a grass block from an Enderman last night. I was sitting here, had YouTube up on one screen while this was playing on the other, just doing its thing, and noticed that the Enderman had spawned. I was like, cool. So I went ahead and I dug out a little hole over here that you can see. Looked at the Enderman and then immediately ran in there and killed him. And he was holding a grass block. So I got myself a grass block, which made me kind of happy. So if I ever need to transplant some grass, I've got that. I think it would be cool. Oh no. If you could take as a recipe, like, I don't know, eight seeds, because they're freaking everywhere. But you take like 8 seeds and 1 dirt block, and you could turn that into a grass block. Because that would be another good use for seeds, because after a while you have so many from your farms. It's like, what do I do with all these damn seeds? So by having that extra recipe, it gives you something else to do with all those damn seeds. Here we are. Get more of this cleaned up. And then, boop, there we go. And so this is where I would like to go ahead and put the roadway leading in. And I think that'll be a good spot to bring it in too, because that is the closest part of that area to the base. Now, as far as the system, the totality of the road system, I think bringing it this way would be a good idea. Bringing it around this way. And then, tired of these damn eggs. There, have an egg. Don't get mad at me. It's your egg. I just gave it back. The other thing to consider, well, no, because I don't have up here done yet. But I was thinking, well, I could just put in a train. Which I still don't know how to make. Brass casing then gets sturdy sheet, which 100 obsidian. There's supposed to be a way to make the train. Signal, but it doesn't tell me how to make the bogey itself. Anyway, that's kind of the direction that we're going in eventually anyway. So let's go ahead and grab some of our stone stuff and empty out our inventory a little bit. And then we'll see about setting up or start bringing the road up this direction. The other thing that I wanted to do, surprised that one hasn't grown yet, is to go and look at digging out uh, 32 divided by 2 is 16, so I would need... Okay. Sorry, I was figuring out some math real quick to try and figure out where I would bring this, kind of wrap it around. Anyway, I had started to dig out this because what I was thinking of doing is actually digging a slowly steeped ramp going up and out if possible. So what I would do is dig this out in threes. And this is just going to look like this for the entranceway. And then oh, I can ramp any way I want. Gosh darn it. I can ramp if I want to. You can leave your friends behind. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. And then this goes back 3. Man, speaking of old songs, I knew I was old last night. It was great. So I was playing some Diablo 3. And there was some guy in chat who felt like he needed to be kind of an edgelord for some reason. So he was spouting a bunch of anti-Trump nonsense, you know, the usual sort of, I'm trying to piss somebody off, so I'm just going to use Trump as a buzzword. No big deal. You've been on the internet long enough, you're like, oh well, look, it's funny. Ha ha ha. And so I started messing with him. And after he'd spout some nonsense, I'd be like, cool. And then at some point, I interacted with him a little bit more. And then this is what shows my age, is I took his name and I added it to the theme song for Captain Planet. And nobody got involved, which actually I was like, well, come on. There's at least one of you that has to know that song. Yeah, well, I mean, in all fairness, trumpets do tend to get most of the girls. I remember a long time ago, there was this group that I hung out with on, I don't even remember what the name of the app was, but he played the trombone. But he had a terrible habit, and I know why he did it, because he was a teenager and he thought it was funny, and it was kind of amusing the first few times. But he, being somebody who played the trombone, would always call himself a boner. And it's like, oh, that's adorable. You should probably stop doing that. Let's see. Almost there. I hope. Oh no. There we go. But then last night, while I was dealing with the edgelord, and in mid-conversation, he said something like, you know, what mark are you going to leave on history? And I was like, well, some not so bad tutorials on YouTube. And that got a couple people asking, like, oh, hey, what's your YouTube? And I was like, oh, it's this. And he's all like, shame, you're all sheep. And I was like, dude, I ain't got no shame. I don't think you understand how this works, buddy. Shame is for people that can afford it. For the rest of us, it's called free advertising. But I could definitely tell he was just looking to get a rise out of people. And it reminded me of the old days of the interwebs, when you'd have that one person who would spout nonsense specifically because they knew it was going to get a reaction out of somebody. Aha! I can ramp wherever I want. And in roughly the spot that I thought I would. I wasn't the boner, but yes. I actually never really learned how to play an instrument. Let's peel this back a little bit. I might make that pathway bigger so that it doesn't feel so claustrophobic. Nope. I mean, I probably could have done more boning, but because anything more than 0 is more. So, but nope, never did any. Let's drop off all this cobblestone, and I need to go grab. Oh, I have some with me. Awesome. As well as, let's go grab the rest. I don't. Oh, I do have more in here. Awesome. Drop off. I could drop off my flowers. No, I don't have any cornflower in here. Cool. It's not what I wanted. Yay! Bone meal. There we go. All right, so let's go get our stone bricks, and what I should do is make some more torches. I mean, obviously I should always make more torches. How are we doing on? Awesome. And then there goes some of that. We'll grab, let's grab some vertical stone slabs for giggles. As well as, oh, we should be good. For what I want to do, we should be fine. Sticks. I need sticks so that I can make these guys. And then those. Oh no, it's raining. That is so true. It is amazing how often a person will live one way during their life. And after they pass away, and there's been a little bit of time, all of a sudden, boom, they are a completely different person historically. Also, hey Matt, how you doing, buddy? I need more of that. Let's... Yeah, there we go. That should be a good start, I think. Like one of the next things that I want to do after we get the road in is to carve out this so that I can get the stairs in. Yeah, fair enough. And yes, get the food, get the coffee. Both are amazing. I've got my coffee here in my trusty Wonder Woman mug. That's good shit. But when I go to put in the roadway for over here, I need to carve this out. And I think what I'll do is roughly the same thing I did over here. Carve this out and then do the stairs up until I get to where I want the curve to be. Then put in the curve and the rest of it. I think that'll work out the best and give me the overall results that I'm looking for, rather than having to try and line it up and do all that happy horse shit. So I need to carve out these. And then oops. There we go. Is that how I want it? I don't know. We're gonna figure this out together, though. Do I want to use stone? Yeah, fair enough. I think I want to use the stone. So, in that case, I need stone bricks over there. I'm going to need more regular stone, and I'm going to need... I'll eventually get this figured out. And this is part of the reason why I want to go ahead and get the other side of this rampway done as well over here, is so that way I will have both sides having a nice stairwell and rounded walkway leading up to here. That, and it'll just look nicer too. But let's see, you are storage. Just in case, let's grab some more. And let's see what we've got in here for Vertical stone slabs. I can mess with that. And then stone slabs. Might not be a bad idea to go ahead and add another one of these for just doing the stone itself. Or the stone slabs. Then again, I've been watching some tutorials on how to do some of the other machines. And it is absolutely amazing the stuff that people have come up with. There was one guy who was doing an iron farm specifically around the ratio of how long it takes to produce the iron nuggets versus everything, you know, just whatever the perfect ratio is supposed to be. And it was actually a really cool looking farm. I also didn't know that you could basically do a diamond farm as well, which is really cool. And there's that. All right, we're done. Show's over. Bye, guys. Let's get these blocks in place. Do I? Yes. Just not like this. Yeah. And out of the way. Because I'll probably want this to come out this way. That goes through here. How far does that go through here? Ooh. Specifically, can I use this? I mean, most likely I could. For what I want to use. Ooh. Ruse likes. Because that leads out here. I could maybe set up some sort of system. I wonder. I'll have to play around with that. Because I'm going to have to play around with that a little bit later. So the idea is, because this goes out to water, and specifically this goes out to the river, setting this up as a way to get the boat in and out, or get a boat in and out. So that way I don't have to dig all the way through this mountain. And what I can do is have this come in, bring the water up here, and then use some sort of create elevator to lift the boat out of it and up to the next section, where I can then boat or continue boating on to the next part. Ooh, I wonder how that would work though. Anyway, getting distracted. That's going to wind up being my name, Cruise the Distracted. Let's see about getting this in place. And then what if instead there we go. And from here, grab our lanterns. And I can put one there. And then yeah, like so. I like it. Oh, I like it a lot. Although I'm not too convinced about the width of this. So we're going to go one more on this. Out of my way. And then you go there and there. Get these in place, and then I can arch this up. Yeah, that'll work. Woot! There we go. That's more in line with what I'm looking for, because then I can go ahead and start doing the 3 wide road for over here. Pop you guys out. Yes, there we are. You here. Then there. That's starting to look better. I will I do have the capstones. Where are they at? Here we go. Then I put those there so that way I can have you guys on top. Just like the walkway back at the base. So this gives us that kind of like that strange rhythm that it has. But this will work really, really well for giving us that through road even after I get all of this finally dug out. And that's part of the reason why we did the mob farm, is so that way I could start getting some of the gunpowder for making TNT. God, it really blows out the lighting though. And then we've got this coming up. And this will go up that way. Awesome. Dig this out to a certain degree. This will eventually lead us to our mob farm. Oh no! I'm getting low on my shovel. Yeah, that's fine. And then 2. And I want to continue that odd rhythm up this road as well. I think it'll be interesting. It'll make it sound weird, but also feel weird. And I like that. I like it when the architecture, and this is going to sound odd, but I think you'll understand. When the architecture has an almost alien feeling to it without being alien. Like the person who designed it was specifically going out of their way to make it feel a little uncomfortable. And that's kind of fun to do. And we'll throw in the extra stone, the stone bricks, slabs. There we go. It's always a bit of work, but once you get that work put in, you start getting some cool stuff out of it. And it starts netting some fun results. Oh, hell. Lieutenant Dan, I ain't got no sticks. Oh, yes, I do. But I have to start actually farming up some coal, or not some coal, some diamonds at some point. Yeah, from what I saw, making diamonds is not difficult. Essentially, it looks like what you do is, let's bring this up real quick. So for diamonds, the way that it works is where is it? You're supposed to be able to, it's not going to show it. But in essence, what happens is you take blocks of coal and compact them, and they turn into diamonds. But you have to get to that block of coal stage. So for a block of coal, yeah, automated packing, you have to get 9 coal into a block. And then from there, you compact that block of coal, and it has a chance to turn into diamond. There we go. This feels weird to build as well. I might actually... instead of doing it on every one, I'll do it on every other one. That'll help reduce the amount that I need, but also reduce the giant light bloom that we wind up getting usually. There we go. Then take this out. So much dirt. Oh no. I have no space for dirt. Whatever will I do? That's right. I changed the FOV yesterday. We were talking about the uncomfortability of certain FOVs and wound up changing ours to 90, which takes a tiny little bit to get used to, but then once you do, it's not so bad. It definitely feels a little off at first because you're used to, I think it's like 70 is the default FOV for Minecraft. And so everything feels just a little bit closer. But then there just comes this point where you're like, okay, well, I'm over that. It might be. It might very well be. I'm not saying I have it, but I'm not saying I have it either. There we go. Oh, also, while I'm thinking about it, for those of you who play Dune Awakening, there's a new set of drops on Twitch. More of the observer stuff, which honestly looks really cool. But yesterday, one of the guys that I played Dune with mentioned that there was the update, and I was like, okay, cool. So I pop open Twitch, and I'm looking through Dune Awakening, and just like the top row, the first person in the list was like, they don't look all that interesting. And then I get to the second person, and then it's this young lady. Looks like maybe, I would say somewhere between 19 and 25, if I had to give an age range. And she was working on her base, so I was like, hey, I'll put that up on the second screen while I'm sitting there playing Diablo 3. And it was interesting to watch the way that she streams and compare that to the way that I stream. And not like, oh my God, she's doing things wrong. Oh my God, she doesn't know what she's doing. No, it was more like just interesting to see how somebody else does it. And specifically how they stream, how it's going to sound weird, how a girl streams. Because there very definitely is a different sort of atmosphere around the way that an attractive young woman streams versus the way that, you know, old ugly guy streams. But it was just interesting to watch. And of course, there's always those guys that are in the chat that, like, one of them was like, what server are you playing on? And it's like, why does it matter? Maybe she doesn't want to play with you. Have you ever thought of that, buddy? Probably not. But it was an interesting sort of scenario to see play out. And there were a couple of times where she would ask a question or something would pop up and nobody was telling her the correct information, or they were telling her moderately correct information, or not giving her the full information that she should have had. So, like, there was a sandstorm that was coming, and she was inside of her base, and her base was not finished. But where she was standing, she was water sealed. Nobody told her, though, how to check to see if she was water sealed. They just simply told her, no, you're fine. And I wanted to say something, but then I'm like, but I don't want to say anything either because I'm just lurking. And I don't want to come across as one of those guys who's just like, oh, well, this is how you do it. Oh my God. Like, girls are so dumb. No, I just wanted to be like, hey, but then I was like, screw it. I'm sure somebody else will say something. And nobody did, which surprised the hell out of me. She also had a bunch of bases, which was adorable. And I get it. Like, I get that desire to have multiple bases across the map. Although she was suffering a weird problem, and I don't know why this kept happening to her, but she kept getting disconnected. Wow, I peeked real hard there. From the game. Like, she just kept crashing for some reason. And I was actually starting to feel frustrated for her because of the fact that it's like, why does that keep happening? What's going on? And it makes it really hard to want to play the game when every like 15 to 20 minutes you're constantly losing your connection to the server. So I could understand if she was getting frustrated to the point where it's like, you know what? Why bother? But she was a trooper about it, and she was fun to watch. And seemed like a good person. But as I had finished up my 2 hours, because I got all the drops that I wanted, or that were available, of course there was somebody who came in and was all like, this is currently the most watched stream for Dune Awakening. Oh my god, all of you are simps. So you literally came into a stream with the simps to tell us all that we're simps. Is that how I'm reading the room? Because that seems kind of pot kettle black. But hey, whatever. Whatever. I don't care. I had my drops. I was done. There we go. And there. I'll also go ahead and put these like that. And then cap them the way that they're supposed to be, along with... Awesome. Then we do every other one here. That works out quite nicely. And this way, I don't have to dig through this mountain, although I could. In fact, I was watching a video that was remarkably well done, talking about one of the ways to make a digging contraption in Create. And the young man who put the video together, oh my God, I'm getting old. Everybody's a young lady or a young man now. Jesus. Anyway, the young man who put the video together did a remarkable job at explaining how it all fits together and how all the pieces are supposed to work. And so in the future, I may look at putting together a digging machine. So that way I can try and set up the tunneling system underground. For now, however, let's get this kind of done up here. Oh no, all this dirt that I'm not picking up. It's terrible. Now, one of the things that I am considering for this side is to help rough it up and make it look like a little bit older, a little bit more weathered. One of the things that you can do is come through here and replace some of the stone with cobblestone or mossy cobblestone. Also, some of the stone bricks with cracked stone bricks, which I don't know. Stone brick. How do I make the cracked stuff? Oh, I just gotta smelt it. Okay, cool. And then that's not in. I want mossy stone bricks. So go to a jungle, find some vines, also moss blocks. Or just add vines, which that's not a problem. We do have a jungle somewhere. I think it's up north. Forest. What was it up here? Yeah, we've got, and actually that's pretty easy to get to. That's just, oh, hey, and there's an underwater temple. Cool. But what I would want to do is come up here, come up to the jungle, and we've actually got a couple of jungles here. We can grab some vines from here and probably even start a vine farm, oddly enough. And then do like the mossy cobble, the mossy bricks, cracked stone bricks, do cobblestone, mossy cobble, and rough this up. Make it look like it's weathered, like it's beat up. Maybe take out one or two of the lanterns here or there, and just make it look like it is a worn road, something that has been used quite a bit. Even throw in some dirt, coarse dirt, that sort of thing. Like it's seen some action and isn't maintained as much, which is kind of fun to do. That's part of the decoration process that I do enjoy. You go there. Oh. Uh-oh. We're out of stone bricks. If only I had built a road that would allow me to get through here quickly. Oh, wait. I did. We finally get to use the road for what it's for. Yeah, that is a fun rhythm. That is a fun sort of gallop down the stairs. Do I have any in here? No, and that's all cobblestone. So we'll grab some more stone bricks. I do not have any in there, but I can drop these off. Cobblestone can get dropped off. Cool. One of the other fun things to do is to use the stairs, stair blocks, to put in small cracks or missing blocks. Make it, again, look like there's some wear and tear on whatever you're working on. Where are we at? 619. Nice. There we are. And let's also grab some extra stone. I don't need the trapdoors in there. I don't need the iron in there either. Vertical stone slabs, and we should be good. Cool. And the music choice for today is a little bit different, only because of the fact that I just wanted something other than the same songs that we've been listening to for God knows how many days. And this said this was no copyright. And I was like, cool, we'll try this one out and see what happens. Probably most, if not all, of the VOD will get muted because that's just the way that it is. I always hate when that happens. It's like, oh, these sections are muted. And those just happen to be the most important sections of the VOD. Let's get back up here. Get back to work. Damn it. I don't know why, but I have this thing that for whatever reason, my right mouse button finger, my middle finger, will just start randomly clicking the button. Like it gets tired or something. Which is understandable. I know I get tired. Just hanging out. Not doing anything. 3, 1, 2, 3. Doot and doot. There we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Now this one is, I think I'm going to start transitioning from the stone road that we have here to something that is more wood-based with wood fences. Still going to use some of the stone in there for sections of it, but I want it to start feeling a little bit more blended in with what we've done with the mob farm, which is the stone bricks and the oak wood. And so I want to start working on that transition between the two. We're transitioning. So this is where I will start doing that blending. There you go. Unfortunately, he's not a drinker. He's not a smoker either. That and I think his significant other would probably murder him anyway. I know, right? He used to be a little less pure, but then he started becoming like a family man, so. You know, she might appreciate it. Who knows? I wouldn't say he's happy, but he definitely he has priorities. No, he's, you know, honestly, I'm proud of my little brother. He's come a long way, and he's been through a bit, mostly of his own making. But I am proud of the life that he has made for himself. Honestly, I'm proud of my sister too. They have become good people. Now, if I could just start making significantly more money, then I would be the happiest one of all. But, you know, sometimes you just gotta let the other stars shine. So this is where we make boop and boop. There we go. You are in the wrong spots. Although I liked where you were at, you were still in the wrong spots. You are the wrong blocks. There we go. Yeah, you shouldn't be minusing your siblings. They're kind of important. Oh no, that's that is a-okay. I lament a lot about my lack of funding, but it's mostly just general bitching. Not like I'm looking for anything specific. It's just a general old guy yelling at clouds scenario. That's the story you should continue to tell the police as well. They don't exist. They don't exist. There's no place like home. Click your heels. All right. Was needing to do something. I need fences. Let's go ahead and grab our oak fences. I need to get rid of those at some point. Glass good. There we are. Oh, and dirt. I wanted some of the dirt. There we are. And yeah, there we go. What do I need for coarse dirt? That is gravel and dirt, and I have no gravel. Do I not? Do I have gravel on me? No, but I have andesite. So, wow. Calm down, microphone. Ah, good. And then let's swap out these guys for these guys. Throw in some dirt. And I need to bring this over a little bit. We are. You know what? Let's do this. That way I can steal some of this dirt. Every time I say dirt, and I specifically say it that way because I'm reminded of the character Dirks from Letterkenny. And the way that, what is his name? The main character. Shoot. I can see his face because he played Shorzy as well. But anyway, every time that he says Dirks, that's just what goes through my head. Wayne, that's what it was. Took me a second there. But I remembered it. But, God, that show is so good, too. This is where it's going to get a little interesting. Actually, shouldn't be too bad. I don't have any double drops. Okay. So that should be fine. Let's find that center point so I can bring it up correctly. In fact, you know what? Let's work from down here up. No, let's not. Okay, that's what. So this is going to be my center point. This is. Yeah, there we go. this is going to give me what I'm looking for. Doot. And then I need my wood slabs. Yeah. Dirt there. I'll be able to use shovel to help define this. Throw in. Actually, yeah, that'll work. So that way you're not likely to fall off and die. Not that I care, I'm not OSHA. But I guess it's bad if, like, you're drunk on berry juice and you come down here and accidentally off yourself or something. I guess. I don't care. Man, last night was hilarious. So, my mom and I are, like, we're trying to figure out what's for dinner. Because my sister usually comes home an hour or so after we have made dinner from work. And so we're trying to come up with something. And my mom wants one thing, I want a different thing. So we just decide to do, you know, what we call fix it your own. So she's having chicken. I'm going to have this Spam concoction of mine, which, by the way, was absolutely delicious. And we have this one particular knife that looks like the prototypical chef knife you usually see in a lot of YouTube videos. She cuts up her chicken. She washes off the knife. I get ready to start cutting my Spam because I was going to chunk it. And she's like, oh, did you want to use the big knife? And pulls it out. And I looked at it for a second. I was like, no, not really. And she's like, okay, whatever. And I go to explain. I was like, the reason why is because, and she looks at me and just goes, I don't give a fuck. Now, my mom has always been more of the nicer, straight edge, didn't use a whole lot of profanity throughout her life kind of mom. So my sister and I have finally started to really corrupt my mom in her old age. And it's hilarious when it happens. I was like, Mom, that's fucked up. She just grinned. It's like, all right, fair enough. Oh, man. But dinner time is never dull in this house. It is always good to have somebody in the family like that. Absolutely. That's okay. A little bit later, I wound up getting her back. She was saying something to me. It was, you know, not important or anything like that. But it was just one of those, like, she went to explain something. And I just looked at her and went, I don't give a fuck. She just, like, I could tell there was that reflex, like, oh, I'm gonna beat this child. I don't care how old he is. I'm gonna beat him. I was like, yep, worth it. Oh. There we go. Yeah. But, yeah, you know, it's funny because a lot of our family lives out back east, or back west, I should say. And most of our family are pretty decent folks. We don't talk to them much, but they're apparently decent individuals. I really should just go ahead and make this. I don't know if I should turn some of this to stairs or not. Oh well, we'll keep going with the trajectory that we're on. But the bulk of our family, at least from what I remember, we're not as open to verbal violence as we are, I should put it. We talk a lot of smack. I mean, a lot of smack. And we do it from a place of love. Like, it's not like we're actually being mean to one another on purpose. It's just how we communicate, you know? But I imagine the rest of our family would look at us like, oh my God, what did you just say? Well, would you like me to say it louder? Oh, I should put that in there. Let's make some more of these. There we go. And it really is just, a lot of it comes from being gamers most of our lives. But it was also the way that we showed our affection in general. It was just a lot of smack talk, a lot of back and forth. Kind of like... I messed that up. There we go. But kind of like verbal chess, really. Just to spar with one another. God, this is not going the way that I thought it would. I mean, that's normal. Oftentimes I do projects that aren't going to go the way that I thought. But I wasn't looking to make a bunch of wood stairs like this. Well, I mean, it's still going to work out. No, this will be fine. This will be fine. I will work with this. I will make this work. Doot. Yeah, I will make this work somehow. I'm not hurting for wood. But I can make this what I want. Whoops. Man, one of the other things that I've also been, to change the subject, thinking about is eventually I am going to be returning to Space Engineers, whether that's SE1 or SE2, depending on when Space Engineers 2 comes out. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen the update for the update from the newsletter, you need to, because it looks amazing. Uh-oh, I'm out of dirt. Ow, you are out of touch. But yeah, they released the newsletter, and they have a 10-minute long video. Oh, honestly, I want to get my hands on Kitten Space Agency, because that sounds like it's a really good game so far. But yeah, with the Space Engineers, the newsletter released a 10-minute long video, a single unbroken cut of them recording a sunrise on Vidur, the new planet. It looks amazing, first of all. The new engine for Space Engineers 2, absolutely gorgeous. On top of that, the new foliage looks truly amazing. Like, as I commented on the video, if I didn't know that the video was for Space Engineers 2, I would swear it was a company showing off their new engine for like an open world RPG, like a Skyrim or a Witcher kind of game, because it's just that freaking gorgeous. And so I'm really looking forward to the planetary play for Space Engineers 2. It's going to be so good. It's one of those that, and especially once they get water going, I think water is going to be that one feature that absolutely changes the way that we approach Space Engineers as a game. It's going to be quite literally the game changer. Because for a while, we've needed something to, no pun intended, wash away the staleness of Space Engineers. It has felt very kind of bland. And especially after you put in, you know, thousands of hours into the game, there's only so much more you can do outside of just different ways to create the same stuff. So I think in a very real way, them adding water is absolutely going to change how Space Engineers is played. Plus, with colonization and survival aspects added to it, that's going to help as well. In fact, I'm really looking forward to the survival DLC for Space Engineers 1. Because again, that's something else that is going to reinvigorate the playing of the game. I don't know, you still probably should stay in space only after seeing the way that you play on a planet. Oh man, the number of times that I got oops out of you during that play session was hilarious. So, good news. Yeah, it is, absolutely. But it was fun. And if somebody isn't destroying ships, then why bother making them? I need more. Damn it, I keep running out of dirt. And then having to run up the dirt. Let's get back. There we go. Now I can use the regular stairs like a human. And speaking back on to Kerbal Space Program, I am saddened by the fact that they completely mishandled Kerbal Space Program 2. They really had a perfect opportunity to just take Kerbal Space Program 1, clean up the code, add some cool new features, and then release it and make tons of money. And instead they went, nah, we don't like money. And so they did the complete opposite of that and screwed it all up. And it's like, how do you fumble that bag that hard? Seriously. You could have sat there and made so much money. So much money. And it's funny how many different individuals who were part of that project are consistently pointing fingers at everybody else around them. But most of them have been pointing their fingers back at the creative director. I don't remember what his name was. They were like, no, a lot of these decisions were his fault. And he's all like, well, this is what really happened. And it's like, it's okay. We get it. You screwed up. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. I don't want to. I want. The logs out of this. No. Slabs. There we go. Nate something or other, I think his name was. Anyway. But it is amazing when you look at the games that are coming out today and how many of them have been handled so poorly by their companies for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. It could be political bias. It could be money mismanagement. It could be ego. It doesn't matter what the issue is. They are just poorly managed, poorly done games that never quite see the full light of day like they're supposed to. Wow, we finally made it. That is way worse than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, we're going to have to fix that. Because this just isn't going to do it. Yes. I know my sister and I have talked about this, and I was mentioning this yesterday as well, about how it's become the norm for companies to blame the customer for the failure of a game. Well, you guys just didn't get it, or you guys, you're all phobic and your isms and ists and all these other buzzwords to deflect the blame off of themselves. The reality is you made a product that nobody wanted, or very few people wanted. And so because of that, your sales reflected that. And that's life. That's normal consumerism. If you are creating a product that nobody wants, then it's not going to sell. Doesn't matter what that product is. And what makes it better is that oftentimes during press releases and interviews, the people in question will go through and be like, well, we went ahead and we made this for a modern audience. And they love to say modern audience. I don't get it because I don't know who this modern audience is. But apparently they're out there, and apparently they're not buying shit because games keep failing and they're not getting better. And these companies keep losing money and then blaming everybody else but their modern audience. I was like, but you made it for them, so where were they? What happened here? Let's see if we can kind of clean this up a little bit, oddly enough. Well, yeah, a lot of the current new IPs of the day seem to be failing for odd reasons. Actually, no, I do want that there. Let's do... this. And then you... yeah, that'll work. Try and make this look a little better. Not quite so forced. I think a great example of a recent game that sort of bucked the trend that a lot of AAA titles have gone with was Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 did a great job of going, we're going to make this game and people are going to love it. And Larian Studios is not a tiny studio. They've been around for a long time. They've done a lot of really good work on a lot of good games. So when they brought out Baldur's Gate 3 and it did so well, it pissed a lot of people off. Also, recently, although I don't know how long it's going to last, but apparently Battlefield 6 is getting a lot of praise as well for being a good game. And I appreciate seeing that a lot of these titles, a lot of these companies are starting to pay attention to the fact that what they were told that we want and what we actually want are two very different things. Now, if they can just keep from listening to the COD puppies, then we should be fine. And Battlefield will actually be a good series again. Because I was watching some of the COD players, some of their reactions and reviews and whatnot, and they are so entrenched into the live service meta that Call of Duty has pushed them into, that it actually kind of hurts to see. You know, the whole, hey, what's up, Hollows? Aha, I have more dirt. You know, they were asking for, we want battle passes and we want more microtransactions and we need progression and we need... I don't know why these people have such a huge hard-on for Battle Royale. But man, if a game doesn't have it, they start getting angry almost. And it's like, not everything needs to be Battle Royale. It's okay if a game doesn't have it. In fact, I would like to see more games not have a Battle Royale. I would love to see more games just be that game. Every game is a fight to the death, including Minecraft. Especially Minecraft. Get out of here, Seeds. But for whatever reason, I think it really comes down to the idea of I'm the best player. And that's what it is. That innate need to prove that you are the most dominant of all of the combatants. And it makes for good entertainment, I guess. Not that I would know, because I don't play those games. There we go. I've never once touched Fortnite. Never played PUBG. There was a zombie survival game that came out a really long time ago. And I cannot for the life of me remember what its name was. But it was one of those that it wound up going from standard like DayZ, H1Z1, thank you. It surprises me and doesn't surprise me that you actually know that, Hollows, but thank you. It's probably because of Big. That sounds exactly like something that he probably tried to rope you into back in the day. There we go. That is starting to feel better. Yes. But I remember when it first came out, a lot of the guys at work were like, oh yeah, we're totally going to play some H1Z1 because they were really into the zombie survival aspect of it. And that was right about the time that PUBG came out and was starting to become really popular. And so before too long, all of a sudden you've got this new game mode out of nowhere. And it's like, but that's not what I remember buying. Which of course didn't matter. Let's do that. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, that'll work. There was also a whole slew of zombie games that came out for a while there too. It was ridiculous. And some of them were pretty decent, and then a lot of them were just shit. I remember there was one that my girlfriend at the time and I wound up trying out that was supposed to be really good, and it turned out to be crap as well. Like, that was one of the things that happened a lot, was just a lot of really bad games were starting to come out at that point. Not much has changed since then, but it is amazing how far the gaming industry has fallen. I remember hearing about that game, but I know I definitely never played it. Yeah, that'll work. There we are. Perfect. Yeah, that feels good. That feels a lot better. And then I'll probably do another one kind of off to the side about here. That's not going to work, you idiot. There we are. But you know, there's been a lot of games that have come out over the years. More so recently than previously, that have been absolute trash games. And then, of course, the developers get all mad and butthurt because their game got criticized. And it's really fun when they start threatening legal action against reviewers. Like, how dare you criticize my work of art? You've ruined everything. I'm now going to sue you for defamation and all that. And it's like, yeah, well, there's this thing called fair use. And if they're reviewing your game, it kind of falls under that. Out of the way. Yay, I've got more dirt. Let's see. Yeah, we'll bring this around like so. Oops. And trying to... The other thing that is kind of frustrating to me is one of the big things that was mentioned years ago and was supposed to be a selling point of a pre-built gaming engine was how it was supposed to bring the cost of development down. It was supposed to make things cheaper for development studios since they weren't going to have to spend money on making their own engine. They could save a bunch of money. And that's great and all. Like, any time that you can save money doing something and time, that's fantastic. But it seems like the promises of this is going to save us money and time have been ever so slowly sort of worn down to the point where, yes, it's saving us money, but it's not going to save the consumers money because the executives still want their bag. In fact, it seems like every single opportunity that a studio or publisher, I should say, has to cut costs, they cut costs and then pocket the difference. Which, okay, fair enough, they're a business. Businesses need to make money. But at what point does it go from sales tactic to just straight up lying when you tell us what this thing that is supposed to save us money is, why it's so important, and it turns out that it's not actually worth mentioning because it doesn't matter to us? If you tell me that some new tool that you have is going to save money, but that money is only saved on your end, not on mine, is that false advertising? Or is that just a general sales tactic? Like, where is that fine line? You know, another thing that was supposed to be a big game changer was the switch from cartridges over to CDs, and how that was supposed to save us a bunch of money. And it did kind of drop prices a little bit. Games could start being dropped down to, $40 to $50, although they weren't generally, because the $60 price tag felt so much better. And just in general, all of these things that are supposed to have helped the consumer never actually made it to the damn consumer. It always just kept going straight back to the developer. Yeah, exactly. 100%. And that's the unfortunate part. It's why, and we're going to circle back around to what we're dealing with now. It's why I'm glad that Minecraft and Mojang are being sued. Ooh, that's ballsy, but not unheard of. Yeah, about that. All right, you come down this way, down into here. Yep. Nope. Totally get that. It's good stuff. Let's bring this up. Yeah. I'm basically going to be rebuilding this entire mountainside here. Which, not necessarily a bad thing. Not the first time I've done this either. And that is the unfortunate reality of it, is most of what happens is really just based off of who cares and how much money they have. How much money they're willing to spend to care. Let's do this, actually. I need... I'll fix this afterwards, but... No, that's true. And there is a certain point where the numbers just aren't in anybody's favor other than the one with the most money. But again, this class action lawsuit against Mojang is, I think, one, in a good direction, and two, something that needed to happen. I don't personally have any major ill will towards Mojang because of the fact that they themselves don't seem to be the bad guys in all of this. At least in so much as I can tell from a consumer standpoint. However, their parent company, on the other hand, can suck a giant satchel of Richards. Microsoft is not a good company, and they are only getting worse as time progresses. If there's one thing that I am kind of tired of, it's the way that Microsoft has been treating their customer base and their user base over the past, 10 years or so. Because, like a lot of companies, they are no longer looking at the consumer base the way they had been. They're looking at users as nothing more than cattle. They're, data points. And that's basically it. They're a sales sheet. And again, I get it. Company's got a company. This kind of reminds me of Mr. Oizo. But the song, I should say. I don't know how well you guys can hear it, but it is just one of those that, ooh, I wonder. Idea. Okay, yeah, I got idea here. But I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and finish this off. Oh no. But the way Microsoft has been treating their user base and the way that a lot of companies are treating their consumers is that the consumer is no longer the end point that they're after, and hasn't been for a long time. Fair enough. The consumer these days is actually the product. When you look at it and when you think about it, what companies are selling is more the customer. They sell our data, they sell our data points, they're selling our information. We are not who they are selling to. We are simply, they sell us basically, they're selling us feed, and then once we're nice and fat, or at least they're nice and fat with our data, they then sell off the data. And that's the way, really, Facebook, I think, is the ones that started that the most egregiously. That turned it into the idea that, no, you're not selling the service. You're not trying to get people to buy into your service. That's easy because people are dumb and they'll do it anyway. I know, exactly. Damn it. Honestly, you should be paying me for my information. I'd happily give you my information. What do you want to know? But Facebook made it plainly evident that what's most important is not the product or the service itself, but it's what comes out of that product or service. And that is our user habits, our psychological profiles, our shopping information. Every aspect of who we are as people is the commodity. Which, you know, everybody's like, oh, that sounds so dystopian. It's like, well, it's because it's true. I don't think you realize that that's what has happened. Okay, let's pop this out. And then I'm gonna make this a little pond here. That ought to work. This is going to get changed into stone right here. Right. And I need not so much stuff. No, I want that bucket of water. Thank you very much. There. Let's infinite water source this. There we go. Now I can come up here. And we have ourselves a nice little... I'm nice to Taz every day. I don't know what you're talking about. Or along the lines of, was Taz nice to me? Which the answer is, well, she was Taz. Taz is as nice as Taz wants to be. And it's the... Yeah, there we go. Of course, once a lot of this has the grass that grows on it, it'll look a bit better. Yeah, we're starting to get there. Get some of the dirt over here. And a lot of this is just filling it in, making it look nice-ish. Funnily enough, I do have, I do have that white cat. Smudge. Good old Smudge, which honestly, that name fits her so well. Even though she's lost her smudge. No. I'll do a lot of silly stuff, but I refuse to get bunny-eared headphones or cat-eared headphones. I am not that guy. Nope. Not physically possible. Because then, if I started doing that, everybody would accuse me of cheating. If you know, you know. Think of the views. I am thinking of the views. I'm thinking of the view of this with cat ears, and it just doesn't work. Just not now. I want to retain people. I don't want to scare them off. No. Nope. Oh God, no. We definitely don't want a hot tub stream of this. I am not in summer shape. Damn it. There we go. Now, what I could also do is to get a little bit more, a little less straight line out of this is in a couple of spots. Have you ever tried to get cats into water? If so, please regale us with... Wow. Your cats, maybe. My cats, definitely not so much. We use water as a corrective measure. Yeah, see? Exactly. Cats are like Fremen. They want the water that's inside of you. And why exactly, Hollows? More specifically, how would I get my hands on lions and tigers? Because I can barely afford to buy new games to stream, and you're all like, no, just upgrade to like more expensive exotic animals. That'll be great. That's not a problem I'm going to be figuring out anytime soon. I'm using up so much of my dirt, and it's nice. I love this. So first you go to see it. Anytime that you hear, yeah, that's a simple problem, you know it's not a simple problem. I don't think there's any figuring that one out. First of all, Mom would kill me, and I wouldn't blame her. There you go. Yeah, until somebody's like, hey, go out and pet your tigers and lions. About that. Whee! This is actually kind of fun to go running down. There we go. That's an even worse idea. Because then that means I have to let in the cats that I do actually have. Open the door. Let's do this. It's a little bright, but it'll be fine. There we go. And then hey, how you doing, Kayla ABC? Okay, honestly, if somebody's sitting there paying me to open the door, I would consider it. Somebody who isn't Hollows, by the way. Not too bad. Can't complain. I mean, I could, but I'm just not going to. I know you way too well, Hollows. That's the problem. I know what you're like. I know the brain. I know the brain that the way it likes. As I have a stroke. Let's see. Goodbye, torch. You are the weakest light. Goodbye. Dude, give me more of this. Oh no, my music. Let's not do that one. Yeah, we'll do this one. I don't know, Matt. I'm kind of watching you sort of try and negotiate this contract with Hollows. It's like kids that do something in front of you, right in front of you, that you've told them not to do, and they're still doing it, and you're like, "What are you doing?" And the kid's all like, "I'm not doing nothing." It's like, bullshit. I'm sitting here watching you. You can't see anything. I'm not doing it. Honestly, people do get on my lawn from time to time. Unfortunately, the very front of my property is apparently considered part of the city property, and they can do whatever the hell they want. Let's get... Ran out of dirt again. There we go. Then we do a couple of fences here. Boop. Need a couple there. And then we don't have sidewalks here. At least where I live, we don't really have sidewalks. That sounds very suspicious there, Matt. Suspiciously like hollows. Oh my god, Hollows has hacked your account. It's too late now. Surprisingly enough, not nearly as much as one would think. But the places that I've lived in this state really haven't been that bad. Honestly, I'm thinking about it. So I've lived in 3 different houses in this state. The first house that we lived in was in more of a upscale neighborhood. I would say upper middle class. And while they didn't have sidewalks in the neighborhood, they did have a fairly long and lengthy, intricate walking path system. And it was right behind our house, which was really cool. So it was easy. Just go out back, go to the walking path, and then we could go anywhere in the neighborhood because of it. The second house that we moved into was more like lower middle class. It was a smaller house. It was a nice neighborhood, though. Like, it was not that bad. And any place that we needed to get to was generally within walking distance. And there was enough area on either side of the road, on the main road, that you could walk just fine. And then the regular neighborhood roads were fairly low traffic. There was a sidewalk, though, along the main central road that came into the neighborhood for certain parts of it, so that wasn't too bad. And in the house that I live in now, there is a sidewalk along the main road up to a point, and then it just stops, which is, it's like, what the hell? But because they're older neighborhoods, it was a little bit harder for them to go ahead and just put sidewalks in when they built or when they upgraded part of the road. And so that was one of those things that just, they never quite worked on. But that's okay, because again, the areas that I'm in generally are fairly low traffic and have been for a long time. And there's plenty of time to see cars coming, theoretically. Yeah. Go. Yeah, she probably does. Put a couple of fences up here and there. And there we go. There goes our pathway. Not quite finished yet, but definitely getting there. Yeah, I like this. The next step is to come through with some saplings and throw those up around here. Or what I could also do, and especially in this area, which would be kind of nice, is flatten out some sections and start planting a whole bunch of wheat through here. And just turn this into a large, grassy, wheaty area. And I think the wheat would look really good because it would be this nice golden color all throughout here, which would go a long way towards making everything look a little bit richer and more vibrant in color, in contrast with some of the other sort of starker, regular dirt color that we have. And it would work well with the oak, which has that also sort of golden color to it. So yeah, I think that might be next. That's basically done. But let's get... I don't know if I want to go that direction with it, but definitely I like the fact that this comes up here. Out of the way. There we go. Yes, my chat's so quiet. Oh, so sad. Look, somebody's getting reported. Oh, probably should stop being a bot. Cheap. Viewer. Learn how to spell viewer. Submit. Close. Ban. Bobbitch. A little aggressive with that one today. And then... I know, right? There we go. That makes me feel better. I'm actually really happy with how that turned out. Although, let's do this. I've still got some detail work here that I want to do because I want to make this blend in a little bit better. But because I don't yet... What hole? This? This hole's there on purpose because this is going to continue up. So why would I fill in something that I am going to get rid of? And that's funny. Nope. Nope. It's going to stay there. Look, there's another hole right there. That one's not getting filled. Look at that giant hole over there. That one's not getting filled. I am actually going to go ahead and we're going to run back to our mob farm because I am going to take a short AFK. And while I am AFK... Nice. That's funny. That's what I call it too. No, I'm saying I'm not going to fill in that hole. I can fill holes just fine. I just don't want to fill that one in. Boop. Oh god, I can make that jump and not hurt myself. Awesome. Yes. It's not really hate. Hate is too strong of a word. It's more like general loathing. All right, we're going to set this to normal. I'm going to go AFK for a few. And then when I get back, hopefully we will have gotten some more stuff out of that. That's yeah, it is. There we go. And I shall be back in just a few. Okay. Ugh. The farm sort of works. it works. We were at 15 gunpowder. We're now at 18. It sort of works. It's not great, but it's something. Actually, if I stand right about here, it tends to work a little bit better. But yes, that's tinted glass in the front. But let's go ahead and switch this back to peaceful. Back to game. So you guys are fond of harassing me with dad jokes. So I've got a couple for you guys. This one's a pretty good. This one, actually, both of these I came up with myself, which I'm really happy with. But the first one is, what do you call a baby cow in the rain? A moist cowlet. And I know that one's dumb, but it is what it is. That's why they're dad jokes. Oh, that's a good one too. And then the other one, and this one I just came upon. What do you call a coma patient in the desert? A dehydrated vegetable. That one works with a little more context, but yeah. I blame my sister for that one. Nope. I'm not going for fruit hanging that low. It's too short. Okay. So, let's grab some more dirt. Actually, you know what? Let's drop off some of what I don't need for now. Don't need the flowers. Do want the wheat seeds, though. And want more wheat seeds. Oh, and I need my hoe. Where my hoe at? Let's just make a diamond one. I'm using up all my diamonds, but I'm not using them for anything else right now anyway. So, might as well. Let's grab some more dirt. Actually, let's just grab all the dirt. Grab some more of the seeds. Awesome. And then I also want to grab the saplings because I do want to go ahead and put some more trees out there. That's all. I like that one. It is indeed terrible, which makes it perfect. Oh, good. Why is there cobblestone out there? Oh, well, some jokes just do work better in writing anyway. So I can kind of understand that one. But still, some people are just a little slow. Alrighty. It's also in the delivery. And especially when you're doing a pun like that, it helps to exaggerate the word that is part of the punchline. And there's actually two ways to do it. The first is just deliver it straight. Oh. You know what, Matt? Go to the corner. Just for that, go to the corner. I should time you out. That's just bad, Matt. Bad. Ah. That's fair. Okay. Oh. Well, that's how he makes his money. Let's see, how do I, more specifically, where do I want to put this? Because I'm not sure yet. That's true. You know what? I'm not certain where I want this project to go yet. Because I have an idea in my head of how I want this to look, but I don't know how I want to accomplish it. I think is the most important thing. Whenever I'm working on a larger project, I like to be able to understand the physicality of it as much as possible. I like the way that this looks, though, from above. I like how you have that short straight and then a curve and then short straight and then a curve and then the last straight. That I like that. That's not a racetrack. That is the cow farm down there. Which I probably should go ahead and at some point build the road out that direction too. Yeah, this is the cow farm. See? Moo cows. Although I need to breed some more. But they've got a nice little water feature and some trees. I should build them an actual barn at some point. I think that would be kind of cool. That's what they are. And meat bags. They are meat bags as well. Basically steak purses. They also do that as well. Milky steak purses. That's what cows are. Yeah, but now you won't be able to get that mental image out of your head. That just reminds me of that episode from Star Trek The Next Generation where they come across the silicon life forms that called them fleshy bags of mostly water. It's like, yep, that would be a human. But I think we're gonna do. I think we're gonna wrap up Minecraft for now, and I want to switch over to some Diablo 3. HK-47, probably one of the top 5 androids in all of Star Wars. Absolutely hilarious. But let's hop out of Minecraft. Switch over to some Diablo 3 here, because I have actually been having a really good time with it. V8, no modded, done. Awesome. So let's hop over to that. And apologies for anybody who was just jumping in to see Minecraft while I'm switching games. My bad. Good stuff. Yeah, basically. This is my demon hunter, and goddamn, she looks sexy. Like, just this armor, that color, with those wings. She kind of a badass. But so far, I can actually go ahead and run on the highest torment difficulty. Let's see. Okay. But right now, I am mostly just trying to get some of the, like, the conquests and stuff done, and doing some Greater Rift pushing. Also trying to get more gems. Yes, my character. Hollows is badass most of the time. This is also true. Let's try. Let's do some gambling because I've got plenty of blood shards. Nope. 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 Ah, okay. They're basically free, so it doesn't matter. Trying to get some upgrade gear here. Okay. Let's go get some more. Oh no. All of those are pretty much useless. Got it. Get rid of those. Salvage these. All right. Let's see what our Greater Rift push for today is going to be. 78. Let's try this out. I was running, well, I started out running Bola. And then I tried to go over to Chakram because I got some of the gear for that. I was like, it's okay, but it's not really doing what I want. Yep. So I had to switch back over to Bola because I think that one just feels better. Yeah, I know. Let's see here. I mostly just have to make sure I'm not getting hit because I am still kind of a glass cannon. Ow, like that. Jesus. I have no idea what just hit me, but there we go. Not bad though, honestly. Like, this could be a lot worse. Oh yes. Now if I could just get the shield. Because I can do the damage. I just can't survive the damage. So many buttons to hit. I will take that. Even more power. Power overwhelming. Go away, poison. Nobody likes you. And we are just about there. Awesome. And he's dead. Let's get you guys. Awesome. Yeah, I totally get that too. That's one of those things, like, even though I am a streamer, I don't pretend that I am amazing at games because I know fundamentally I am about average. There are a couple of things where I'm probably just a little bit better than your casual player. But I have seen what a lot of regular players, like actual good players, are like. And streamers who are A, younger than me, and B, better than me. And so I never personally hold an illusion that I am amazing at the games. But I do absolutely understand where you're coming from as well. Let's increase our hatred. Let's do that. Resist all. And I think there's something to be said for streamers that hold a balance between humility and bravado. Hold on. Ooh. Oh, useless. Ooh. Useless to me. Yeah, useless. So, in all fairness, I think it's good to be able to look at a streamer and see their accomplishment and go, I think I could do that, so I will try to do it. because that sets somebody up to have a goal. Now, the problem comes from the attempt at the goal and failing and going, I don't know how they did this because I can't do it. They must have been cheating. Now, obviously, there are those who are legitimately cheating. And it's not difficult to really see those people. Oh, God. Yes. That looks a little wrong, but at the same time, yes. Oh, God, yes. Oh, this has got to go up on screen. This is beautiful. God. This is a milky steak bag. Steak purse. This is... Oh. Yes. There we go. That... Oh, man. Thank you for that, Hollows. I am going to try, and I'm going to see if I can make that into a... I know, right? I'm going to see if I can turn that into something for the stream. Emote. There we go. Yes. I think I will make that the thumbnail. Oh, man. That's how I feel some days, too. Okay. I need... How you doing, Grumpy? Awesome. Okay, cool. What are you? Ring of Royal Grandeur. And that's for Diablo 3, Altar of Rights, Season 35. What's next? That one. Right? No, I've already got that one. And then 10. Oh, 5% damage. Hell yes. Hell to the yeah. We just need to go grab that extra ring of royal grandeur that I have. Because I know I have a spare one. Somewhere. There it is. That's why I'm glad sometimes I'm a little bit of a pack rat. There we go. That increases our damage by quite a lot. Let's see. And then after that one, 11 is elite packs drop 1 additional progress orb. That one could be useful. Pets pick up Death's Breath. Hell yes. But 12, that's going to be... That one's pretty good. So 10, so this one, and then this one, and then 13 goes back up to here. Okay. And I mostly have what I need, although that's hella expensive. That's okay. Raider. Let's see. Be right back. I'm going to take my bowl upstairs. Okay, there we go. That's better. And I brought back some candy because who doesn't love candy? All right. Hmm. Actually, I do have.
You look like you could use a new item of indeterminate usefulness.
That's a good point. Let's see about. That one. That one. I know I had. I picked up probably one of the best items in the game that I've ever seen. The Herodric hamburger. It's completely useless to me, but I had to have it. It's like, that's quite honestly probably one of the best items that I have ever seen in a game. I'm looking for one specific item though. Where is it? It's not any of these. Oh, there it is. It was in something else. There we go. Oh, you go back up there. I actually wanted to hold on to that because I want to put you in there. All right. Let's make this push. I want to see Oh, I hate these damn shields. Nope, 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 nope. I think we might be okay. Need you to just be dead now. I think I'm starting to hit kind of my damage ceiling. Essentially the highest point that I can start, or that I can easily do damage. Or the amount of time it takes to kill something is just long enough I have no idea. I am not a Diablo pro at all. I thought I would try it just because, for giggles. I'm not using that gem anyway. I've already got my gems, so again, for giggles, just to see if it would work. I mostly play Diablo 3 at a casual level. This is the first time I've really been like trying to push. And there's so many interactions that I really have no idea how they work. So I'm really surprised at how well this build for my Demon Hunter is working. Part of it is used from Icy Veins. The other part of it is just stuff I picked up and ran with. But I am happy with how it's going. Uh-oh, nope. That's true. I haven't touched max roll recently, only because of the fact that I haven't been playing Path of Exile 2, because that was where I learned about max roll, and I use Icy Veins out of habit. Yeah. Oh, I'm just coming back around to where I was at. Well, in all fairness, so does Icy Veins, because they had level 35 builds, or season 35, I should say. Yes, they want more. They also want to build a snowman. And yay! I know I'm playing incredibly inefficiently right now. I should be looking for elites, but I'm not. Mostly because I'm not comfortable with my survivability. If I had higher survivability, I'd probably feel a little more comfortable with just running for it. And Oh, nope, nope. Oh, no. Damn it. Stop that. No. Stop.
Need more time.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, like again, like this is the first time I've really tried to push. So I haven't gotten in the habit of doing things like checking leaderboards. Ooh. Oh, yes. You all are screwed now. I have a shield. But like I haven't been checking leaderboards. Usually I only get to a certain point and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to go too much farther than this. Yeah, I think this is as far as I'm going to be able to go comfortably. Yeah, there we go. For now. Let's see. Let's get this one leveled up. And I've got some other farming that needs doing. But 81 seems to be about as comfortably far as I can go right now before my damage output tapers off. So I need more damage. Gotcha. And it's a good way to do it too. I know in my case, what I'm looking at is just raw damage numbers. I don't have any of the primal weapons, or I don't have any primal gear right now. That's one of my other drawbacks. My legendaries are kind of weak. So it's just a matter of gearing at this point. Which it always is too. What are you? Don't need that. Marauder. It's actually pretty cool looking. Carapace? Here, Marauders. Shadow Coil. I basically have a full set of Marauders if I had transmute some stuff. Antelope Channeling. What are you? Fodder. Fodder. Follow. Fodder, fodder, fodder. There we go. And how am I doing on some of this stuff anyway? Oh, nice. I love how I have more Death's Breath than Forgotten Souls. Because why not? Oh, and I'm down to 1 Greater Rift Keystone. Good to know. So let's go do... Actually, I'm always doing 1. I might. Good question. I have stuff all over the place. I don't know. What do I have in my cube? I'm actually using MMA's duffel so that way I can get the extra damage off of Bola. But I don't have Yang's recurve. Surprised I don't have that yet. Of all the stuff that I have been picking up. I'm not going to gamble for it, not worth it. If I get it, I'll definitely use it. The other one that I'm using is Dawn for reducing my cooldown of Vengeance. But again, like, so, a little bit of a backstory here. I had a Blizzard account for years. I had Warcraft, and I had StarCraft and StarCraft 2, Diablo 3. All those games were attached to it. And then I lost access to the email address that was attached to that and was unable to get it back. So I had to create an entirely new account, which kind of pissed me off, but at the same time, it's not terrible. So this Diablo 3 account is basically new-ish. So I went a long period of time without playing Diablo 3 until I got this again. And then I really hadn't played much Diablo 3 after I did get it back. Like my main characters right now, this is actually the best one that I have so far. If we switch heroes, this one has more Paragon levels than my normal characters do. And I actually started Nomica so that I could just mess around with a monk. So this is currently the best one that I'm playing on. In fact, that's game settings, change to Torment 16, because I can basically handle that like it's nothing. It really is. And especially this time around, because I've got sages on my scoundrel, which is not something that I've done previously because I never thought about it. And so I'm getting tons of Death's Breath, which is nice. And just in general, this has been one of my better performances so far. So I'm really, really happy with how this push has been. And I only started Saturday, I think it was. Friday, no. Maybe it was Friday. Friday or Saturday. Thursday, that's when it was. So last Thursday was when I started this character. And I've actually been really, really happy with how her push has gone. Yeah, I haven't gotten that far in the altar yet. Still working on that. But let's do Cursed Cellar. Just see about getting some more stuff here. Out of the way. For me, it just comes down to the fact that I just really enjoy the unrepentant violence of mowing down tons of demons. It just makes me happy, you know? And I think that's what I enjoy most about it. No, I need more hatred. I have plenty of hatred. Go, my little tornadoes. I need more hatred generation. That would be nice. 207. Damn. Okay. I'll take that. Dude, could have at least dropped something decent. If it shows up, I'll grab it. Surprised I haven't gotten it yet. With everything else I've been doing. Out of the way. Kill the data miner. Ha! I see what they did there. That's like a joke, right? Let's not do that. Okay. Now we can go ahead and do that. And awesome. Oh, I don't mind the hatred being used. Just gives me a reason to have more hatred. And now you're dead. Let's... I only need 3 more. I'm not going to worry about that. There we go. Moving on. Clear the Khazra Den. Okay. If... There we go. Oh, goody. One of these. And there's already... Wow. Okay. That is the first time I have ever seen just a 1-layer one of these. Oh, no, damn it. Oh, come on. That is a first. Alrighty. Anyway, and I died in it. That's the other funny thing. Let's give ourselves more life here. I have a feeling I need to get a life. Back to the Khazra Den. Give me that. Yes. I should probably also repair, but I'll worry about that later. I had been, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, I had been playing some Diablo 4. But I just wasn't quite getting into it the way that I do with Diablo 3. Which is not to say that Diablo 4 is a terrible game, because it's not the worst ARPG out there. It's not, quite as good as some others. But it's not the worst one. Let's see. Oh, sweet. Give me you guys. But part of the problem is that it loses a lot of its Diablo identity by going with a singular map, I think. Oh, he's probably this way. Yep, there he is. By going now, granted, of course, you also have the dungeons that are on that map, but overall, we'll kill Erne after this. Having a big giant overworld map feels like a huge departure for the Diablo series. Diablo 3 was a good compromise between kind of an open world map, or more specifically, it built really well on what Diablo 2 did. Because Diablo 2, when it came out, I remember how amazing that was. You had these larger maps, they were outside, you had day and night cycles, lots of cool stuff was going on. And it just felt like such a huge upgrade. And aside from all of the other issues that Diablo 3 had, I think it built upon Diablo 2 and the Diablo franchise in a really good way. Diablo 4, however, felt like it was a departure from Diablo, and felt more like it was just, they took WoW and Diablo and put them together, not realizing what it was about the ARPG that made that special. And I was thinking about this the other day. Specifically, I was thinking about what it is that makes ARPGs so good. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that they are the digital version of D&D campaigns. That's what a good ARPG should feel like. And something along the lines of a Diablo 3 or Diablo 4 is missing that core feeling. It's missing that extra special oomph that makes you feel like you're playing an adventure. Now for Queen Erne. And so the idea that each of these areas is separated by portals, if you will, or entrances and exits, works well because each one feels like a different map. Not in the obvious sense of, yes, it's a different map, but more like it's a different layout for a D&D campaign. Or like it's what that campaign is working on, or what your group is working on in that moment. And so when you take that away and you just have one large overworld, it takes away some of that magic. And then having it so that you have dozens of players, if not, 100 players or more, all in the same space, also takes away some of that magic, at least for me. I'm sure there are some people who absolutely love that feeling, and that's cool. It's okay to be wrong. But no, in all honesty, it just, for me, it lost something in that transition from, I'm not getting shit. It lost something in that transition from just a regular Diablo setup to open world.
My hatred is too low.
That's my feelings on it, however. And it could also be a sense of well, this is how we did it when I was a kid kind of mentality.
Not enough hatred.
If it was good enough for me, it should be good enough for everybody else. Although, if you notice, Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2, which are both highly acclaimed games, although I think Path of Exile 2 has kind of lost itself a little bit. Both of those use less overworld and more of a dungeon-based mentality, and both of those are quite well played. I think what really hurt Diablo 3 was when they attempted to do the auction house, and when they changed the way that a lot of it played because of the whole real money trading thing. But that was one of those where Blizzard was trying something, and I don't fault them for trying, for experimenting, because it was an important experiment. Yes, it did get hurt by the auction house, but not in the way that some people would think. What hurt it was it changed the focus of the game for a lot of people from dungeon crawling to find good loot, and turned it into, I'm just going to go farm as much gold as possible and then go to the auction house to buy my skill, to buy my gear. Rather than going out and doing the farming themselves and playing the game, they were more intent on, I'm just going to go buy my power levels, my level, if you will. Which is what frustrated a lot of people. And you are, however, correct about the fact that once they got rid of the auction house, that made Diablo 3 a much better game. It became a far more superior product that way.
I am returning to town.
Good stuff. All right, let's see what we got. Yay. And I know I got something halfway decent. What are you? Demon's Demise. I've already got one of you. Pauldrons of the Skeleton King. Or that's a worthy upgrade. Yay, I can replace my Ring of Royal Grandeur. Sure.
You almost make theft unnecessary.
If I take that off. Ha! Awesome. So I can change one of his pieces at some point. Nope. You are mechanical. This is actually the first time that I've started one. So I generally play solo. Not for any reason other than just because I usually play solo. Hold on a second. Really? Cool. I only did the solo self-found because I wanted to try it out. I thought it would be an interesting experiment, as I haven't actually done it before. But I don't have a specific preference, generally speaking. There we go. Let's also... Why, yes. Use up some of this stuff. I refuse to do hardcore. I suck enough at this game that I know that my hardcore would die probably within the first 5 minutes. And it's like, well, then screw it. What's the point? So I don't bother. But I am going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap this one up for today. We've got some stuff to take care of. But tomorrow I'll be back with more Minecraft. I know, right? We've got some more work to do on the roadway, which should be fun. I might do a little bit of work between streams, get some stuff prepped and ready for tomorrow. I also want to start planning out that farm area around where the mob farm is, so that way we can kind of get that looking nice. And then after that, we might do some more Diablo. I'm enjoying Diablo 3. It's going fairly well. Other than that, though, we are going to wrap this up. As always, thank you all for joining me on these misadventures. So glad to have you guys along for the ride. You all have a wonderful day. Stay out of trouble. And remember, if you get caught, I don't know you. I will catch you all tomorrow.